You are not stuck or doomed to repeat the past. You've been following an old script, but you can write a new chapter. The patterns that shaped you don't have to define your future. Your history is part of you. Toxic patterns are invisible loops, emotional or behavioral habits you repeat, often without realizing it. They shape your relationships, your career, and your self-worth, often dictating the course of your life in subtle yet profound ways. Think of them as deeply ingrained pathways in your mind, grooves worn down by repeated thoughts, feelings, and actions. These patterns aren't always obvious. They operate beneath the surface, influencing your choices and reactions without you even being fully aware of their presence. They're like a hidden program running in the background of your mind, constantly shaping your reality. These patterns can manifest in various aspects of your life, from the intimate connections you form with others to the professional path you pursue and the very way you perceive yourself. They can be the reason you consistently find yourself in similar, undesirable situations, repeating the same mistakes and experiencing the same disappointments. Understanding these patterns is the first crucial step towards breaking free from their grip and creating a more fulfilling and authentic life. It's about shining a light on the unconscious forces that are driving your behavior and making conscious choices to rewrite the script. Recognizing these patterns requires a willingness to look inward, to examine your past experiences, and to identify the recurring themes that have shaped your present. It's a journey of self-discovery that can lead to profound personal growth and transformation. For example, you might always choose emotionally unavailable partners, drawn to the familiar dynamic of distance and longing, even though it consistently leaves you feeling unfulfilled. Or perhaps you procrastinate on your dreams, constantly putting off the things that truly matter to you, sabotaging your own potential for success and happiness. Maybe you feel compelled to please everyone around you, sacrificing your own needs and desires in an attempt to gain approval and validation from others, ultimately leading to resentment and burnout. These are just a few examples of the many ways toxic patterns can manifest in your life. They can also include things like constantly seeking external validation, engaging in self-destructive behaviors, or having difficulty setting healthy boundaries. The key is to identify the patterns that are specific to you, the ones that are holding you back from living your best life. Recognizing these patterns is not about blaming yourself or feeling ashamed. It's about gaining awareness and taking responsibility for your own well-being. Once you understand the patterns that are influencing your behavior, you can begin to make conscious choices to break free from them and create new, healthier patterns. This process takes time, patience, and self-compassion, but it is ultimately possible to rewrite your story and create a life that is aligned with your values and desires. These patterns are not your fault. They are subconscious scripts written early in life, often during childhood, shaped by your experiences, your relationships with your caregivers, and the messages you received about yourself and the world around you. They are subconscious scripts written early in life, and they can be changed. These scripts become deeply ingrained in your subconscious mind, influencing your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without you even realizing it. However, it's important to remember that these patterns are not fixed or permanent. They are simply learned behaviors that can be unlearned and replaced with healthier ones. You have the power to rewrite your story, to break free from the limitations of your past, and to create a future that is filled with possibility and potential. Changing these patterns requires a conscious effort to become aware of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and to identify the triggers that activate these patterns. It also requires a willingness to challenge your beliefs and assumptions, to question the stories you've been telling yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. This process can be challenging and uncomfortable, but it is also incredibly rewarding. As you begin to break free from these toxic patterns, you will experience a greater sense of freedom, authenticity, and self-empowerment. You will be able to create healthier relationships, pursue your dreams with confidence, and live a life that is truly aligned with your values and desires. Remember, you are not defined by your past. You have the power to create a new future for yourself, one that is filled with joy, love, and fulfillment. And many of the most deeply ingrained and toxic patterns that we find ourselves repeating throughout our lives don't just appear out of nowhere. They are often meticulously programmed into our subconscious minds during childhood, a period of intense learning and development. The experiences we have, the relationships we form, and the environment we grow up in all contribute to shaping the very foundation of our beliefs, behaviors, and emotional responses. Family dynamics, whether healthy or dysfunctional, play a significant role in this programming. Traumatic events, even seemingly small ones, can leave lasting scars on a child's developing psyche. Neglect, both emotional and physical, can create deep-seated feelings of insecurity and unworthiness, and conditional love, where affection is only given when certain expectations are met, can teach a child to suppress their true self in order to gain approval. All of these factors, and many more, contribute to the complex tapestry of our subconscious mind, influencing our thoughts, feelings, and actions in ways we may not even realize. Understanding the origins of these patterns is the first step towards breaking free from their grip and creating a more fulfilling and authentic life. It's about recognizing that we are not simply products of our past, but rather individuals with the power to rewrite our own stories. Consider this. If you learned early on that love and acceptance were conditional, only given when you performed well, achieved certain goals, or behaved in a specific way, you may now find yourself constantly chasing approval as an adult. This can manifest in various ways, such as people-pleasing, overworking, or constantly seeking validation from others. You might feel an insatiable need to prove your worth, driven by a deep-seated fear of rejection or abandonment. Similarly, if you were taught to hide your feelings, to suppress your emotions in order to avoid conflict or disapproval, you might now struggle with intimacy in your relationships. Opening up and sharing your vulnerabilities can feel incredibly risky, as if you're exposing yourself to potential pain or judgment. You might build walls around your heart, preventing yourself from forming deep and meaningful connections with others. These are just two examples of how childhood experiences can shape our adult lives, often in ways that are both subtle and profound. The key is to recognize these patterns, to understand their origins, and to begin the process of healing and rewriting the narratives that no longer serve us. It's about reclaiming our power and creating a life that is aligned with our true selves, rather than being dictated by the echoes of the past. The patterns we learn in childhood often have a way of repeating themselves in our adult lives, sometimes in unexpected ways. For example, the habit of parent-pleasing, of constantly seeking approval from authority figures, can easily translate into boss-pleasing in the workplace. You might find yourself going above and beyond to impress your superiors, even at the expense of your own well-being. You might struggle to set boundaries, fearing that saying no will lead to disapproval or negative consequences. Similarly, the fear of rejection that you experienced as a child can manifest as a fear of visibility in your adult life. You might hesitate to speak up in meetings, share your ideas, or pursue your passions, fearing that you will be judged, criticized, or rejected. These wounds, these deeply ingrained patterns of behavior, continue to echo into adulthood, shaping our choices, our relationships, and our overall sense of self. But the good news is that these patterns are not set in stone. They can be changed, healed, and transformed. The first step is to become aware of them, to recognize the ways in which they are influencing your life. Once you have this awareness, you can begin to challenge these patterns, to question their validity, and to create new, healthier ways of relating to yourself and the world around you. It's a journey of self-discovery, healing, and empowerment, one that can lead to a more authentic, fulfilling, and joyful life. In adulthood, these patterns show up as overthinking, anxiety, repeating toxic relationship dynamics, or self-sabotage at work. You're not afraid to fail. You're afraid to outgrow who your parents trained you to be. The familiar feels safe, even when it's painful. These patterns can quietly ruin relationships, careers, and your sense of self-worth until you break the cycle. The first step, the absolute bedrock of lasting change, is awareness. You simply can't change what you're not aware of. It's like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded. You might stumble around, but you'll never truly find your way out. This awareness isn't just a fleeting thought, it's a deep, sustained understanding of your own patterns, triggers, and reactions. It requires honest self-reflection and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself. Journaling, therapy, and inner child work are powerful tools that can help you cultivate this crucial self-awareness. Journaling provides a safe space to explore your thoughts and feelings without judgment, allowing you to identify recurring themes and patterns in your behavior. Therapy offers a supportive and structured environment to delve into the root causes of your issues, gain insights into your past experiences, and develop coping mechanisms for dealing with difficult emotions. Inner child work involves connecting with the wounded parts of yourself from childhood, offering them compassion and understanding, and reparenting yourself in a way that heals old wounds. These practices help you see your patterns clearly, not as isolated incidents, but as interconnected threads that weave together to form the tapestry of your life. Recognizing these patterns is the first step towards unraveling them and creating a new, more fulfilling narrative for yourself. It's about understanding why you do, what motivates your choices, and what underlying beliefs are driving your behavior. This understanding empowers you to make conscious choices that align with your values and goals rather than being driven by unconscious patterns that keep you stuck in the same old cycles. Reprogramming your ingrained patterns takes consistent daily habits. It's not a one-time fix, but a continuous process of rewiring your brain and reshaping your behavior. Think of it like learning a new language. It requires daily practice and immersion to become fluent. Affirmations, the practice of repeating positive statements about yourself, can help to challenge negative self-talk and cultivate a more positive self-image. Exposure therapy, gradually exposing yourself to situations that trigger anxiety or fear, can help you to overcome phobias and develop resilience. And setting new boundaries, clearly defining your limits and expectations in relationships, can help you to protect your energy and maintain healthy connections. Each small choice you make, each time you choose a new behavior over an old one, rewires your brain for freedom. It's like building a new neural pathway, strengthening it with each repetition until it becomes the dominant route. This process takes time and effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. As you consistently practice these new habits, you'll begin to notice a shift in your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. You'll feel more empowered, more confident, and more in control of your life. You'll be able to respond to challenges with greater ease and resilience, and you'll be less likely to fall back into old patterns. This is the power of reprogramming. It's about taking conscious control of your own mind and creating a life that is aligned with your values and aspirations. It's about breaking free from the limitations of your past and creating a future that is full of possibility. Remember this vital truth: boundaries are not walls designed to isolate and separate you from others, but rather they are gates, carefully placed to control the flow of energy and protect your well-being. They are the guardians of your inner sanctuary, ensuring that only what nourishes and supports you is allowed to enter. They protect your energy, preventing it from being drained or depleted by toxic relationships or unhealthy situations. They safeguard your well-being, ensuring that your needs are met and your boundaries are respected. Each time you honor your needs, each time you assert your boundaries, you reclaim yourself. You reclaim your power, your autonomy, and your right to live a life that is authentic and fulfilling. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of respect, love, and consideration, and that your needs are just as important as anyone else's. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's an act of self-care. It's about prioritizing your own well-being and creating a life that is sustainable and enjoyable. When you have healthy boundaries, you are better able to show up for others in a meaningful way because you are not depleted or resentful. You are able to give from a place of abundance rather than from a place of scarcity. So, embrace the power of boundaries. Use them to protect your energy, honor your needs, and reclaim yourself. They are the key to creating a life that is filled with joy, peace, and fulfillment. You're not stuck. You're just following an old script. Rewrite it. Starting today, your future is unwritten and you hold the pen. If this video helped you see your patterns, subscribe for more mindset shifting content. You have the power to break free.